All right. Hi, Swathi. So thanks for
Hi,
joining
Rama. How are
today.
you?
I'm good.
My
I'm good.
pleasure. My pleasure.
All right. So we're having this fun chat today. We want to talk about your experience with public speaking, your experience with TM community, and your contests, and also you launched your new book.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with your introduction. If you can just quickly introduce yourself, how was your journey with the topics that I just mentioned before?
Okay. I'm Swathi. I've been living in the US for the last 13 years. I now live in East Coast, but I've also lived in California for many years, so which makes me bi-coastal. I studied in California. I went to UCLA, got my certification in journalism and writing. And I've also worked with a bunch of Indian American publications in New York City. And also in California, I used to write for a publication called Orange County Register. Then I've been in Toastmasters for about 12 years, and I've won many contests, including being the finalist of the district finalist for the International Speech Contest, as well as being a division runner up for evaluation contest and many other contests. I have also now brought out my own book called Don't Sell Yourself Short. It's my first nonfiction book. It's a mix of memoir and how to book. It's a fun, light-hearted read, so don't be duped by the title. So social anxiety. It's a light-hearted book.
Sure, awesome. All right, so let's talk about public speaking in general. What made you join TM at the first place, and how has public speaking helped you as such?
When I'm talking about public speaking, my journey with public speaking started with a non-profit organization called Toastmasters International. I had briefly done Toastmasters when I was still a student in India. I was a very shy kid. You know, when I'm talking about social anxiety, I was also a socially awkward person. I couldn't even look at a person in the eyes and speak. So it was I got bullied for a very long time for that shortcoming of mine. But also, when it came to presentations or talking to someone comfortably, I used to shy away, and then I used to break into a sweat. Literally, I'm telling you that. So that's one of the reasons. When I had met one of my friends from other other local college at the gym, and she was like, you must try Toastmasters. I'm like, Toastmasters? How is toasting bread going to make me a confident speaker? So I mean, fun apart, I think, jokes apart, I think that was the first step to join Toastmasters, is to overcome that stage fright, and also to grow in confidence. But I was never serious. I thought, okay, fine, we'll just go for kicks. People are coming, a lot of students my age, so it's just a fun hobby. But then when I moved to the US at a perfect time, it was the peak of recession, 2009. It was a huge culture shock. And I know uh, English being their first language, and also the way they spoke, communication here was so important. And then when I checked out local clubs, maybe starting mid 2010, I knew there was a huge difference. And also by 2011, I knew the importance of communication to earn a good job, to keep my job, and also for daily interpersonal communication. Public speaking was key. So that's when I joined a couple of local clubs in New York City. And then my journey with public speaking grew after that. So
Awesome.
I've been doing it till it's been like 12 years. There was a lot of downs. I moved from coast to coast. Then I became a student, and then I had a lot of I had a job which was so strenuous. Had to stay up till 1 to meet my deadlines. But still, public speaking was so important. Since I told you I was a news reporter, it was helping me ask questions with ease and articulate my questions too. So I owe a big part of my writing success, and also my my life on the whole also is to public speaking, because it changed quite a bit for the better.
Awesome. So talk about how you have used it as a tool for alleviating your social anxiety. I am sure that's one of the tools that you have discussed in the book.
The book, yes.
Right. So, if someone is watching this, right, how would you think that's gonna help them, or what is that the first thing they should even think about when it comes to alleviating their social anxiety?
So I've also mentioned public speaking was cheap therapy.
Okay.
And
Okay, that's a good one.
yeah, I'm not kidding, because in a way it was. And talking about from the Toastmaster point of view, which is again a nurturing environment. Whether you say or don't say anything, they still applaud for you. So that kept me going. When I mean, think about it, or tell me, when you talk to a good friend of yours, when you're sharing your personal problems or what you're going through, whether it's your spouse, your family, a family member, or outside the realm of your family or your good friends, you feel much lighter. That's because they're listening to you. They're all ears.
That's right.
So Toastmasters again was doing the same for me. When people applauded, when they were saying good things about me, good job, wow, all that was motivating me to go back and do more. And one more thing is, they always give speeches with a message, which is kind of life changing. And you see, there's so many people like you who have joined Toastmasters, and you meet people from all walks of life. They could be doctors, teachers, and they could be having blue collar jobs, or they don't have a job, they're students. When I really saw that they were different facets of life, so many life stories, which kind of impacted me, it had a positive influence on me. And I was having fun, more than anything, I was having fun, and it was enlightening. So that was kind of helping me alleviate the social anxiety, because everybody was on the same page. They spoke about their life stories, I spoke about mine. And at the end of the day, the rewards were claps, and of course, you get ribbons, you get certificates. And when you work through your educational programs and leadership programs, you are well rewarded. So all that was truly inspiring.
Sure. So now let's talk about ribbons and the prizes. So I'm sure contests are very exciting, and I think that's when we actually connected, right? You came, if I remember, you came just for a one-off coaching for one of the contests, right? And
that year, I think that was my first attempt at humorous speech contest.
I think I don't remember, but I know one season.
I know. I was reaching out to a lot of people, and then I had read one of your books, How to Connect with People Using Humor, how I got 7 applauses or something. I read that book.
It's not 7, it's, by the way, I think 18.
18 applauses or more. Yeah.
Not applauses, laughs. But anyway.
Laughs and applauses. I remember that correctly. So when I read that book, I was taken aback. Is humor so easy? I mean, it's not that simple. But then I wanted that extra, bit of coaching. So I'd signed up for a personal session with you. I had a one-on-one. I did well, I think. I went to the area contest. Correct. And I placed second.
Correct.
I placed second. But sometimes you get so feverish. You want to go up the ladder. I want to go to division, district, become the champion.
Right. Right. I remember. So how? Let's talk about contests. Sorry to interrupt. I want to hear from the actual person who has taken that journey, and how you felt at the end of the journey. Like, I believe you went in district, so I'm not going to say. I want you to speak about it. How did you
No, feel for that contest or for contests in general? I don't know
Yeah, that
because
contest and the next contest. I think the subsequent
okay.
contest you went till district, I believe, right? It was
Yes, but contest for me was not that simple.
okay.
It's I think second year of my Toastmasters here, I was actually pushed into the contest
Okay.
because they didn't have many contestants. So my mentors, two good mentors at the time, Audrey Danyacha and Jim Decker,
Okay.
uh, they gave me that gentle nudge. No, I think you should just jump in and participate. It wasn't easy for me because I already mentioned to you I was such a shy person. And then I was breaking into a cold sweat again. And that morning I was having cold feet. I called my mentor and said, I don't think I can do this. Let me back out. And I hadn't slept the entire night. I was like, man, shoot, what have I got myself into? And then I really went in. I don't know what contest that was. I think it was evaluation and international speech contest. I did it. I did both of them. Then I was like so proud of myself. I thought I'll place the first among the first three, but then I hadn't. That night, I know I was living in North Jersey that time, so I had to take a train from Grand Central, one of the biggest train stations in New York. And I know I was tearing up. I couldn't even have that slice of pizza. I was like, what the heck did I do? No, this is not what I wanted. I cried that night. My
Okay.
heart was really heavy. I was disappointed. Then I spoke to my mentor the following week, and he was like, no, no, don't worry. I think you did great. It's just that you need to learn a few more techniques. You need to practice more. You need more experience. That's it. But no, for me at that time it was, I was really competitive. For
Okay.
me, going into competition means I have to win. It was like that. I got
Yeah,
really feverish. I was much younger also. I'm saying 12 years ago.
sure.
So I was ambitious. I really wanted to grow as a speaker. I was hungry. I used to watch a lot of public speaking videos. I used to listen to my mentor to the T, follow the instructions. And it was like that. I used to go to a lot of local clubs to see how others are doing.
Sure.
So it was like that. I mean, it went on for a couple of years, but not until I really got mentored and coached a bit that I started making a progress in terms of contests.
Sure.
So from 2012 until 2015, I think I had a good streak in contests. I won't say I won everything because that's like a dream come true. I kept losing, but that propelled me up, in a good way. I mean that in a good way. The more I lost, the more I learned.
Sure.
So that was like, lesson well learned. It taught me how to be resilient.
Sure.
It taught me how to bounce back and not take myself seriously, because this will happen. And when I went into the contest, I knew it takes a lot of courage to just go up there and do your stuff. And there were more seasoned speakers, and there was so much to learn from everybody.
Sure.
More than my speaking skills, I think, yes, I was becoming a good leader too by just competing. And I think in 2014, after so many years of just like persistent efforts, I won the evaluation contest at the division level.
Sure.
And then in 2016, I think I competed after a gap of 4 years in the international speech contest.
Okay.
And boom, I lost at the club level. you know,
It's
that was, I mean, that's when I think that was a changing point at how I started looking at contests. And by then I was, my district at the time, the founders district, was bringing a lot of world champion speakers like Craig Valentine, Darren LaCroix, Presian Varslev. I was in New Jersey. But then they got so many people, there's so many speakers. And when I looked at them, I mean, I knew, okay, I really have to learn more and grow more as a speaker. I definitely lost heart. I was disappointed and it was pretty embarrassing, right? And sometimes the contests are not fair. People who are not deserving sometimes go ahead. I mean, it's all there. It's see, wherever there are people, there are politics. So for me, the way I looked at contests from that year was very different. Is not to be competitive, but then to participate and give your fullest and be in the moment. Go up there and enjoy yourself. That's what I learned. That's the biggest takeaway from contests. Is just not about winning. That doesn't mean you should lose always, but then
That's right. I agree. So that's good. That's a good one. Sure. Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
yeah, when you have a good message, just share it. Don't care about the outcome. So that was the biggest takeaway. And the following year, I became the area director, so I couldn't compete. But then, when I went to other contests, which you're forced to as an area director, and you put together these contests, you learn so much. You get the ringside view of the contest. It's so tough to gather judges, to get the contestants, to get clubs to participate, to encourage them. I that was a changing point for the better. Okay, so these contests have taught me a lot. Now what? Now, more than a speaker, I was becoming a better leader, encouraging others. But then, after everything, I had to move back to East Coast again in 2018.
Sure.
That's when I took contests seriously again, but not to win, but not to be competitive, but then to try out new things, to get out of my comfort zone regularly. So I read your book by then, and then I thought I should have a one-on-one. I gave my best for that humorous speech contest. Out of that 8 or 9 years in Toastmasters, that was my first humorous speech contest. I was nervous as hell. I'm not kidding.
I know. I know.
uh, yeah, the thing is, what makes me nervous is it's not about speaking anymore. It's just that if the jokes will work or not. I mean, I did my best. I went to the area level, but then they're always more seasoned speakers, better experience than me, more experience than me. So that was it. And then again in 2019, I was really serious about competing in international speech contests. That was not easy either. Had a lot of downs, but then again, I signed up for one-on-one with you. um, we did our best. I saw so many world champion speeches. I learned so much. I wrote and rewrote the speech, which I learned is like, not just to win, but any good speech is not written, but it's rewritten. That's another lesson I've learned. This time I went without expectations. Yes, I was a little nervous to give my best, but then this time I went without expectations and was not about winning. So I set aside my ego. Good message. I wanted to inspire others. So I did that speech, went ahead and did it. Went to the area level. And that night, among so many speakers, I won. I got the first place. Then I went to the division level. Didn't expect to win, but then I got the first place. A little surprising, but also was so proud of myself. I was like, okay, 10 years. It took me 10 years to get to this stage. And Lance Miller was right. If you haven't won contest, that means you haven't lost that much. So
That's right.
all that experience in the past, and being consistent, it really helped me go up to that level. And then I became the finalist of the at the district level.
District level, right? So
Yeah, the competition was massive. Let me tell you, there were like 9 or 10 districts all clumped together, and really amazing speakers, amazing speeches. Didn't win the district level, but then I made it to the district level as the finalist, which again is a big thing. And it took a lot of courage to go up there and share my message. So that's my experience with Toastmaster contest per se.
Now let's talk about your book, right? Why did you write the book at the first place? I mean, I'm sure everybody talks about writing a book, but only few end up writing it.
Writing. Yes.
So I just share your thoughts, right? Like so many people tell me, but hardly I see people finish it. I think it's easy. So what's been your experience and what's your recommendation if somebody is even thinking of writing a book?
Okay. So I told you Toastmaster speeches had messages. So
Sure.
you have a message, say it. I think the idea of writing a book kind of dovetailed. Yes, now I have a message, I want to share it with the world. I don't care whether I finish it or not. See, I had the habit of journaling. Every day I used to write something, or at least once a week. If I've had a bad day or something is happening, like they say, build a story file. That's where it all started from. Okay, then I think I had enough stories. And then I had attended one of the workshops, like writing workshops, book writing workshops, and then that they said, if you find your dot, I think that's about time to write your book. So you have a strong message, you have a title, subtitle, go ahead and write. I mean, what do you have to lose? So I think that's when I was so stoked to write. Okay, let me write. We'll see what comes out of it. And by then, I think you'd also started that book coaching program or something like that. You launched a new program.
Yeah, I did.
And then I got an email from your community saying that if you want to write a book, please sign up. And it's like, okay, what have I got to lose? Anyway, I have the idea. Now you have someone to guide you, to keep motivating you. So that's when I signed up, and then I think we went from there. We just had a couple of sessions, and then you were like, okay, this is my idea, what do you think? And then I discussed, and we went from there. I did my due diligence, but then you did a lot of hand holding too. No, you have to do this, rewrite this. There was a lot of rewriting. At one point I was so frustrated. Man, why did I even do this? I should have never thought of writing a book. But then writing a book means I was thinking big. Not about just sharing. We'll see. I mean, at least for posterity, I have this book.
Sure.
So that's when I really wanted to put that message out to the world. See, this is what I've gone through. This is this is how I overcame. So this is my journey. Do you really want to buy this book and read it? And then, like, you never know. Maybe they will be like a few people who will really take those steps and take those tools and apply in their lives too.
Sure. So you want to share a few tools that I think there are around 6 tools you have shared, and
Right.
as you say, they are free to use, and they don't you don't need to use drugs. Is that what you keep saying? You don't need to use drugs to get out of social anxiety. So I find it very funny the way, since I've gone through the script and
Right.
The one thing that caught my attention and I want to share with you is this is a topic which is a little serious, but I think you made it very lighthearted, and I think you have really used your humorous skills that you have learned from your speeches into your book. So I think that's pretty smart, and I think you created an experience for the reader too.
Right. Yeah, I mean, so when I started writing this book, I didn't know it will turn out to be a lighthearted book. I knew, okay, fine. See, when I thought, okay, I'll start with my stories, then I'll give the readers a few tools that'll help them reduce social anxiety or whatever. Maybe they're going through depression, or they'll be like, okay, fine, someone else also is going through the same shit, not just me. So I was just like that. But then when I rewrote, I was like, hey, maybe I should change the tone, make it a lighthearted book, because, who cares? I mean, nobody wants drama, right? People are going through
a lot of drama.
Everybody everyone's having a busy life these days. So when you say you want a break, you want to read a book, it should be so lighthearted. I just wanted to create a product. It should be like, okay, when they read it, it should amuse them, make them laugh, cry, chuckle, and at the same time give them the tools that can be easily applied in their lives, that can at least help them transform their lives. Even a bit, it's fine. But I've seen a lot of people give up their lives. One of my cousins was and that again was an impetus to write a book and to share the message with the world.
I know, I remember that you mentioned.
Yeah, don't give up on yourself. I mean, shit happens, things happen, life happens. Now what? So I thought, okay, I'll create the 6 tools, which is natural, not weeds or any other stimulants, which will again
this was the word I was thinking. I told drugs, but you use the right words, weeds and stuff.
Yeah. Weeds or stimulants, which will again shove you into the dark hole you'll never come out of. And it will also destroy your neurons. So think of all that. When I was at a low point in my life, I didn't know that, one day I'll write a book, which was not even on the radar. I was also almost on the throes of giving up my life. But for what? Think about it. Be positive. Look at the bigger picture. It is what it is. You have to go through what you have to go through sometimes. And, that's what makes you a stronger person. So this is what I'm telling in that book. I'm just showing them the way without being too mushy or dramatizing my problems. And one of the readers who read my book, she left a review. She said, she's saying it's a book about social anxiety and depression, but the tone is not depressing at all. It's so funny. I finished it in one day.
It's funny. No, I second that. And the tools that you have used are common, and I think many of them will know. But
right.
What I felt was the way you approached. For example, I remember about yoga. You said it so funny that you went for a specific type of yoga and what not to do, right? People generally say just go to a yoga, take any yoga class. And I think I remember you saying, a chiropractor saying that he's getting a lot of business because people hurt their backs by doing yoga. I felt it was funny.
Yes.
I just want to share a value here, right? A lot of times we know what is the right thing to do, but we don't do. So there is a huge difference between knowing and doing. And I think even no, trust me, it's for my own personal growth. These days I've come to a fact that stop learning new things. Just do what you already know.
Right.
It's a big lesson. I am consciously trying to. I don't have television in my home. Okay, so I don't. And it's a conscious decision, and so I felt that the tools that you've shared are simple and probably people know, but it would be a really good thing that people actually do.
Right.
Because it works and it has worked for you. So I guess I just wanted to share that if somebody is watching this, I leave it to you.
Nothing technical, nothing complicated, or like you just said, everything. Watching a funny movie will change your mood, but nobody will watch it. And then just keep mopping. Reading a joke book might just lighten your mood. Taking a walk is good for you. Eating healthy is good for you. But not everybody is making that conscious effort or decision.
Listening
right?
to music, that was one tool you have shared, right?
Yes, yeah. Listening to music, yoga, and definitely meditation. Don't discount that. You might say, what, just shutting my eyes will change my life? Just try it, because I've been trying to influence my dad.
Okay.
And my dad can't just sit his butt down. Okay. And I'm not embarrassed to share that because he's just one person in my life. He's very important to me, I'm telling you. But he just can't sit his butt down. He's one person I can't influence. But but in meditation, the busier you get, the more meditation you need. I wrote that as a tool, but sometimes, life gets in the way. You just jump off the wagon. But then believe me, even if you can't make like 30 minutes, at least 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and you find all sorts of meditation, it's just one game changer. Believe me, it works. It's a miracle. And if you do it the right way with the right teacher, it will change your life for the better.
That's awesome.
It's just like what you want to eat. Fast food or organic food. I mean, pizza can just fill your stomach, but in the long run, it's not healthy for you. But eating like finger millets or ragi, I mean, other healthy foods can help you, but then that's not an option you have always. So it's just like that. All the tools I've mentioned for some people might sound a cliche. Oh, this is nothing new or novel in it. But when you really apply, that's why I go deep into every step and write my own personal experiences with each tool I have mentioned. This
Yeah,
is not just like some fluff. Oh, okay, go do it, and I'm not walking the talk. No, I definitely do. Not all 6 tools at once, maybe, but at least one every day.
I think that's the idea of one thing, right? There's a book called The One Thing. I don't know if you've read it. It's an awesome book.
Mm-hmm.
And what they say and what the author says is one thing at a time. That doesn't mean you have to do the one thing always. One thing at a time. At that particular time, focus on one thing. Then the other thing. So it's a proven concept. I've also tried this, and I keep telling you and others also that just focus on one thing. Even for when you're preparing for your speeches, if your focus is to get your writing skills well, so just focus on the writing, and delivery you can manage. And in other speeches, if you're focusing on your delivery, even an average script, just focus on the delivery. Just focus
Right.
on your gestures, or focus on your eye expressions, or focus on your body movements. Just focus on one thing for one speech, and then gradually you learn. And I'm sure you will second that in contests also, you need to get everything right.
Right,
But
right.
you can't get everything right in one contest, right? So you're basically learning one single skill, and then you're and I guess it applies to every other area of your life. So
Right.
it's good that way.
Mm.
Anyway, so I guess we were chatting for a while. So finally, I want to ask you one thing. So I guess your book is live, and I'll share a link when I'm sharing this. Any last thoughts for the readers, or the listeners? Anything that you would say to them about if they're feeling down with social anxiety, or if they're feeling a little low in life? What is that you would ask them to do?
Don't give up. You're not the only person going through that phase. Everybody has lows in life. You will have a low point, but then it's very easy to say just snap out of it, but that's not the way to deal with social anxiety or depression. uh, Definitely read my book, and then don't give up on yourself. Talk to the right people, and as far as you can, don't do drugs. Getting onto the wrong track is very easy, but I'm telling you, coming out of it is really hard. So don't ruin your life. Talk to the right people, do therapies or whatever, but then, you know, definitely take that important step in life. Action is very important. So do one good thing for yourself, and then you'll see your life changes for the better.
So basically, reach out for help.
Reach out to the right people. I'm telling you, don't say no, I want to suffer this, I'm going to suffocate myself, give up on life. Reach out to the right people, reach out to the correct profession, reach out to professionals, take help. But I'm just saying, don't do drugs. That's just like a temporary solution.
Sure. So get help and get therapy as much as possible, and you have to drive your own life. I think
Yes,
that's the thing.
you hold the reins of your life. Don't let anybody else take charge. And definitely go check out my book, read it, and leave your review. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah, yeah. Swati, I've been coaching Swati. She's been amazing. I'm really proud that she's come this far and was able to publish her book. I'm really happy for her. So thank you so much. If people are watching, I hope you had as much fun and
Yeah, thank you
value.
so much for having me. Yes, it was
Thanks,
a pleasure. It
Swati.
was so much fun talking to you.
Yes, and it all worked out. So,
Yeah, it did.
we're always going to be busy doing things in life, and
Mhm.
writing book and talking about is one of the fun things we want to do. So thanks, Swati, for it's been my first experience as well. So even I had a lot of fun doing this. So thank you so much. I hope your book is gonna do
Likewise.
well. It's an amazing thing you've done.
Yeah, thank you so much.